What's up guys, welcome back to Railway Empire 2, and today we're going to be starting on the game's scenarios, and we're going to start with the base scenarios. So we're going to be North America 1, and we're going to be working towards the trophy for what is it called? Engineer. Complete 10 scenarios. Now guys, I don't know necessarily whether or not the scenarios in each one of these will count towards your 10 or not, but let me just point out, Journey to the East is the only one that you need to have as chief executive. The rest of them you can actually just complete the different scenarios, and obviously then the different trophies that come along with them. So just pointing that out as we head into the scenarios, but we're going to start here in North America 1. Like I said, we don't need to get Chief Executive. Chief Executive would be nice. So you can now choose your character. So you have the Entrepreneur, which gives a bonus for express trains, higher staff efficiency, but maintenance is 20% slower. Not so bothered about that. The Professor, the cost of auctions are reduced by 30%. All locomotives are 60% cheaper, which is a good one, but less revenue from passengers and mail. For me, I don't do that many auctions, so not too bothered about that. The General has higher revenue from freight and mail, 30% lower track construction costs, but 30% costs for tunnels and bridges. The Engineer is all locomotives require 10% less maintenance, 20% lower cost for tracks, tunnels and bridges, but the bonus from express trains is 5% instead of 10%, which I think is probably the one we're going to be using. The Gangster, not so bothered about the Gangster. Intimidating, can acquire factories in the city without an auction, 20% chance of refund of the cost of an auction. That's only a 20% chance, and then 30% chance, 30% higher costs. So I'm going to go here with the Engineer. Not really bothered about the name. Signal mode, we're going to keep that as automatic. And you can't really change anything here, guys. You've just got to go with it.
Good morning. This is going to be an interesting competition that you have started. I'm not quite sure why you got involved in this bet. But anyway, the additional connections certainly won't hurt our country. I have been appointed as a referee, and your mission will be to connect Chicago with Jacksonville, Florida as quickly as possible. Your competitor has a similar endeavor, only that she starts from Toledo. Let's go then. Ladies and gentlemen, start the engines. The race is divided into several stages. You must always complete the tasks of one stage before the next stage, along with the next region, is unlocked.
Okay, so our task here is to get to Jackson. So I've paused the game right at the start there. Connect the city of Indianapolis to your home city, Chicago. Note, if that Madame Ward can be faster at fulfilling her tasks than the time given to you, she finishes first and you lose. So just be aware of that. Connect 5 rural businesses to your rail network. Connect 80,000 citizens to your rail network. Now you've got 2 million. And guys, what you need to remember is make sure that you are making frequent saves in this game. So our home city is Chicago. We have Indianapolis and we have Rock Island. So they're our first few to connect. Now Rock Island's got beer, Chicago's got cloth, and Indianapolis has also got beer. So we need meat. So no, who's got meat? St. Louis has got meat, so that is going to be our plan. So let's first off get Indianapolis connected and get some beers moved over to Chicago. So we don't necessarily need to focus on express trains. We just need to focus on we'll go with mixed trains for now. Now what we're going to do here, I think, is we're going to run a station through there as well, so that will help us connect the trains and freight as we go. And of course we want to try and keep it as cheap as possible, but we're also going to be using double lines, guys. We've got to use double lines realistically, even if we just use them for now as everything and then progress to make them stronger in the coming future. Do we want to put a station here? Not necessarily to be used, but just to we could use this as a warehouse if absolutely necessary, to supply goods coming in every direction. Or do we just go straight to Chicago and figure out putting a station in here later? Yeah, that's probably save us a bit of money. Milk is going to be a commodity, guys, so it doesn't hurt us to have that. Now, I think we leave 2 lines free to expand to...
Very good. You have completed the first task.
Again, it doesn't like us using tunnels, just like we had the issue on the main chapters. I don't know what the issue is, so we're just going to demolish that line. Try again without the use of tunnels. For now, we're just going to leave it as single lines, so that when they get to there, they don't necessarily need to swap over lines. So we're going to go Indianapolis to Chicago. It's mixed. We'll get just one train going for now, guys. So we'll start with that. That's not a problem. And then what we're going to do is run a train line that runs through the middle of these two on our way forward. So we'll leave the first 2 lines here on Chicago for goods, like we said. And we'll leave, I think, just one line free there to run goods in from that station. As and when we need them. I just want that to be a little bit more curvy. Is that wrong? Like, it's not looking right. I can't work out what's wrong with that. I want to go straight. And then curve in. Well, that's a bit better. And then from there, we're also going to get Rock Island in the... So that's got beer as well, so that's not really a massive bonus to us, I'm not going to lie. We're going to make that 2 trains, actually, for now. It's not really a massive bonus to run that. run that from there into Chicago. We'll run it via its own single line. And again, we can see if we can find a cheaper train. It's the cheapest one. Supply tower on the route, and a supply tower on that route as well for now. So B is not really a
First task completed.
bonus for us, I'm not going to lie, but it is kind of what it is, isn't it? Indianapolis. We could have, probably should have. Let's get this city connected here, Rock Island.
This city desperately needed a train station.
And we're quite happy to run that in. I don't want a tunnel. I don't want any tunnels. On the same two lines there. Quite happy to run that in. Actually need that at the moment. So we can now run train from Chicago through to Rock Island. We'll do 2. Make sure we put a supply tower on that route. Okay. Let's get
Second task fulfilled.
this station included. For now, we'll just run the one line in.
You're not taking half measures, I see.
Again, it can be increased. We're just going to again run the cheapest one. Put a supply tower there. So we've now got 4 businesses connected. Realistically, we're going to want to get some warehouses in at some point. So let's get St. Louis in now as well. St. Louis, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to point it slightly that way. And again, we're just going to run the same 2 lines in. Don't know what that is there. We're not really going to need that. We don't want tunnels. And with that, we'll then have potentially enough. What is it too close to? I think it's too close to that track there. Let's just demolish that track for a minute. So if we now connect these 3 cities, we then have a network of 3 building up stocks. yeah, we've now got the 3 cities will be transporting goods to each other. I don't think they're going to take much between each other for now. So we're going to edit that so it goes Chicago, Rock Island, all the way down to St. Louis, back to Rock Island and Chicago. And we'll put a 3rd train on it so that we can now get goods moving between the 3 cities without any issue. We're almost up to the amount of people we need. Let's get this connected so that gives us our 5 rural businesses. Well, we don't have enough money at the minute, so let's go fast forwarding. The thing we will need is, of course, some warehouses, because we've got corn, we've got wheat that we can get in, and if you look here, we've got wood, so we can get wood coming into Chicago to help wood grow. For now, we're just going to run the single line in to St. Louis there as soon as we've got the money. Could take out a bond. Yeah, sod it, let's take out a bond. We want to keep moving here.
You have completed the 2nd task.
I finished early, but don't let that discourage you, okay?
Again, we'll go with the slowest train for now. It's not really that much of an issue. Let's get a supply tower on that line. So we've got beer coming down here. The next one's there. One, 2, 3. Oh, all 3 of them are in the same sort of area. But we should start seeing now the city's starting to grow a little bit. We want to get wood coming through as well. And we'll think about the fact that we might have to put like maybe a 2nd train station in Chicago if we want to progress north, but being that we need to be progressing south, I don't think that's too much of an issue. Now we're going to come in on this first line here, guys, because that first line on that side has been dedicated to the cotton one that comes in on the other side. So a new rail line from there to there. And we'll want to think about, let's get a warehouse with wood in it. Let's get a maintenance depot this end, and a warehouse at least with wheat in it, so we can then start getting them distributed throughout the area. Because I don't think we need to be progressing up to like Grand Rapids and stuff, but saying that, we're going to need sugar and we're going to need corn. Sugar is down there, but we can't progress that far. Indianapolis, I'm not sure how we're going to get Indianapolis to grow realistically. Because apart from wheat, and it's not really going to get as much of the stuff it needs unless we connect St. Louis to Indianapolis. Indianapolis, which we could do. It just depends, realistically, on how much that train line is going to cost. Let's have a quick look at how much that would, if we were to run it from there. Say we were to run it through that stop there. That's not that expensive. We could do it, and that would allow then in St. Louis and Indianapolis to share goods as well, and that would mean meat, beer, and yeah, that could be the way to do that, guys. Right, Chicago's now growing. We haven't got corn and we haven't got sugar. We've got meat, beer coming. So there is a fair bit of goods getting shared around. We could probably should realistically get Indianapolis connected with everything else. Let's just keep working on this current task. So once did we connect them up? We want Indianapolis to grow, don't we? We want everything to grow realistically. Chicago's now grown. We're up almost at the 80,000. Let's see what the next bit brings us before we spend money we don't need
But I'm
to.
right behind you.
You have completed all the objectives of the first stage. Now the next stage, along with the next region, will be unlocked.
So the research has been allocated, so that's good. Okay, so let's see what our next task is. Deliver 8 loads of corn to Chicago. Reach 40,000 citizens in Louisville. Transport 250 passengers from Chicago to Louisville. And then optional task, achieve an express line on the rail between Chicago, Buffalo and New York. Make 12 goods available in New York at any time. So, where does it want us to head? Because I'm sure New York's over here. All the way over there. That's a hell of a journey when they really want us to head down to Jacksonville. Thought that's what the task was anyway. So we need to get 8 loads of corn to Chicago and Louisville. Where's Louisville? Can't you tell I'm not from America? Ah, Louisville's here. Okay, so Louisville's got meat. So realistically, we don't actually need to get Louisville, St. Louis and Indianapolis connected, because we can do Louisville and Indianapolis. So that's what our next task will be. And if you look, we've got corn available to us. It is brilliant. So let's get Louisville connected, and let's look at Louisville, what we've got surrounding it. So we've got meat there. So we'll keep the first 2 lines free at Louisville. Keep the first 2 lines 3. Let's press play and get Louisville and Indianapolis now connected. Oh, that's quite an expensive line. So we can get that connected soon. What we'll do is we'll run the train that goes from Chicago through Indianapolis down to Louisville, so that them 3 are then getting connected by the same goods. Take any more bombs at the minute, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Keep pressing play on that. Let's get okay. So with meat and corn, and look, we've got wheat and veg as well, so that is a real a good setup, and sugar as well. We can get sugar going into St. Louis, as long as the ground's not too contoured, I suppose. So where's that train? Let's edit that train. So it goes Indianapolis, Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville now. Get another train going. So currently we've got 3 trains running on this, and we'll get a 3rd train running on this as well. So we've got 3 trains running between each. There's no saying we can't just change the tracks that they run into so they don't get congested, but for now we need to focus on growing each of them. So we need to get corn coming into Louisville as a next suggestion. And of course meat as well. We need to get cows coming in so that we can get a good share of goods coming through the cities. Why that's going that way, I don't know. So that should help Louisville go straight away. Okay, so let's look at getting corn coming in. Now what we want to do, I think, is just one rail line for now, guys. But at the... Oh, we need to get rid of that tunnel. But at the entrance here, we are going to need... we're going to need it double lined. It's only probably for yay amount. And that's because we're going to be running multiple lines in. As soon as we can afford a train, we will. And then we also want to be getting a warehouse in Louisville with corn, so that we can then move corn further. Up the line. All this, of course, is not cheap, and we can't issue any more bonds at the minute, so we are just waiting for trains to constantly arrive. To also be moving up here very soon as well, into probably Grand Rapids.
And on to the next region.
Louisville's now starting to grow, so brilliant. St. Louis is growing quick.
City connected.
Gosh, he's
It's
moving
fascinating
quick. Wow.
how long you've been able to stay in business.
Really moving quick. How long do we have? December 1881. Chicago to Louisville. They are moving, so that's not too bad. And we just kind of need to get cows to Louisville. We need to get sugar into the system as well. Realistically, we don't want to be spending any more on warehouses than we really need to. But of course, at this stage, with only so many trains running, it is taking its time to get this. I think in Louisville we might need to put a maintenance. Right, okay, let's take out our next bonds, guys, and let's get some stuff moving now. We're definitely going to need cows moving to Louisville, so that we can then get meat moving throughout the region. And again, we only need to really connect up so much. And we put the supply tower here so it covers both trains. Might just slow them down a little bit, but it's not a massive issue. I want to get a third train running on on this line as well. I know they're not going full necessarily, but a third train will just help move extra goods through the region. Okay, right. I think now Grand Rapids is going to be our next area to move to. That's got beer. We're not going to be going to Toledo. But do we stick with the same train station, or do we put a new train station in here to head the other way? I think so. We're going to name this one Chicago East. And we'll name this one Chicago West. And we're going to run this all the way up the same line here like that. That's we're going to run it up to there and then in via that line. And we're going to do that because we then want to be able to leave just that next part of the station ready to run wood up to Grand Rapids, because we've got wood running. To Chicago already, so everyone's getting supplied by wood at Chicago. I don't think we're going to be heading up this way, not yet at least. See all the corn coming off there. Didn't want to see all the corn coming off there, but we'll get 8 loads of corn to Chicago. It will happen. It will happen before that is needed. And look, we've got corn up here as well.
That's what I call a real breakdown. You should exercise more control.
So we'll put the station there like that. We're going to keep 2 lines free for the north of it. And we'll run. Ooh, that's a disgustingly expensive line, guys. Try that again. Like I said, at Grand Rapids, we're going to leave the top 2 clear for goods. We've got sugar up there as well. We could just keep the. Yeah, I think we can manage that. I think we can manage that. think if we were to put sugar and wheat both in on the same line here, on one line, and we put apples and corn in on another line, I think we'll be absolutely fine. They'll just have to take it turns and going into the station. I think that's just how it is. So we haven't got 8 loads of corn to Chicago yet, but they must be on the way. Maybe not. Have we still got? We've still got corn going, so that's a start, isn't it? The warehouse is still putting it in yet, so we are good, guys. We are good. Corn will eventually go, and we're going to connect corn up here anyway, so it's not all lost as of yet. Plenty of time. Let's get our first train running from Chicago East. Okay, yeah, we'll cancel that. We'll just check that everything's as needs to be. Did we put a... No, we did put a grid eye on that end. So... Chicago East to Grand Rapids. We can always add another train onto that, guys, not an issue. We've already got a supply tower on the route, so that's not, again, not an issue. We're up to 26,000 in Louisville. That is growing absolutely bang on. Realistically, we'd need to get this station connected to Indianapolis. We just need to potentially move a couple of bits about to get it to work. I don't really fancy running it on the same line. I'd like to keep a separate line, but needs must. Okay, so let's look now. We're getting some stations on. When we go here, I reckon we run. I think we're going to have to run kind of 2 lines. I think either way, guys. I don't think it's going to work. We just might have to run all the different trains in and just have them sitting on different sidings in different states, or certainly at this station we'll have an extra siding so that it allows for movement of trains. So if we run a new rail line that goes from there to Grand Rapids, but at the Rice station it sits on track number 3 only. It will sit only on that line there, so that it's not going to cause anything to be congested at all. And when we get a train station up here, which to be fair, we can run in, we'll have 2 lines, but we don't need to run the full 2 lines, we just need to run that, and same directions there, and then once we get a moment we'll put a warehouse at Grand Rapids for it to take corn, and we'll also get it to take sugar. So corn, sugar. Again, you want 8. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so the more trains we're getting running, the better it is for us. And then what we'll also do is get wood stored at Grand Rapids as well, so that when we move towards London and Toronto, we've got the goods moving that way. Indianapolis is growing rapidly, Louisville is growing rapidly, with 29,200, so we're doing alright there. Let's get this now a second train, so that we've got the chance of more goods being moved. As soon as Chicago gets to 35,000, it's going to want milk. So we can start thinking about getting milk into the game. So 3, and this is just going to run on a siding. So a new rail line, Foster Terminal to Chicago. And then it runs on rail line number 3.
Such a breakdown is
going.
really typical for you. You just don't have your trains under control. Come on now, are you tired? We're just getting started.
Milk in. So let's see what we've just done. Transport 250 passengers. That was nice and easy. Start seeing a warehouse, not a warehouse, a maintenance depot up here, so that we are getting a good maintenance going on. Let's delete that train. It's only going to cause issues, isn't it? I don't know what that is. Is that? Concrete? Oh, we've access to sugar now there, apples. So we will get them into the system soon on this side. We're just trying to focus on getting everything else connected where we need them. So what we'll do is we'll run. I don't really want to run them on the same line per se, but it's only going to be one train, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. If we have to, and it becomes a bit too much later on, of course we can change. Oh, wow, that needs milk already. We can change that up and have it so that it runs in on a different line. It's absolutely necessary, but I'm going to run this one in on this line to Louisville, and I am going to double run that one. And the idea being on this one, because we have got the warehouse in Louisville, we can store extra wheat and, if needed, fruit and veg to get them in the system too. But again, it only runs 8. Where haven't we got supply towers? We have got a supply tower on that line, haven't we? So that should now help these continue to grow. Beautiful, beautiful, guys. Right, so we've got now 4 loads of corn, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've fulfilled that.
You won't make any careless mistakes at this speed.
We'll run this as a single line. Because the plan will be just to use that station as a link through as well, guys, as we move towards New York. Make sure it always uses that line. So we'll now get sugar in at Grand Rapids, so we should start getting Grand Rapids to grow, which in turn will also help Chicago grow as well. And the next line we want to run is just this one up to here, like that. Single line. Supply tower. Grand Rapids can then also get wood in the warehouse. And all we're doing here, guys, is laying the foundations for moving forward. I don't think we need to worry about Louisville. That's going to happen naturally. So we're just going to let this run for a moment and see what happens. Okay, so Louisville's just about to hit target. Now, guys, I took the opportunity to put wooden sort of sawmills in Chicago, and I want to try and get
the next stage. At the moment, you're in the lead, but Madam Ward isn't too far behind.
We're going to put whiskey, liquor here, because that is a prime opportunity. So let's see what our next tasks are. The road to Knoxville. Achieve an express status on the rail between Indianapolis and Knoxville. Connect 350,000 citizens to your rail network. And we've got just over a year, just short of 2 years. So Knoxville is there. So not only are we heading this way, we also seem to be heading this way. So Knoxville is going to be our next station. And we might need to Indianapolis and Knoxville. So it's not too difficult, but we might just have to open up our tracks, or just at least run it kind of over and through that train station to Knoxville. I don't know how much that's going to cost us, because that is a hefty bit of track work there. But for now, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to get apples moving, and we're going to get sugar moving to St. Louis. Because they are going to be important on making that whiskey. So at St. Louis, we're going to want to see a warehouse soon with apples anyway, because what we'll be distributing apples and sugar throughout the region. At some point. So we're going to just run that to there. And as soon as we can, we'll afford to get that next bit of track going as well. Just don't know how far south it wants us to head, as well as north towards New York. I think we're going to have to go down to Nashville and head to Knoxville that way, because I think that's just going to cost us too much in realism to go through this train station through to Knoxville. Plus the fact we need the population.
It's fascinating how long you've been able to stay in business.
Plus the fact that station's facing. need to think about some... Right, let's pause this for a minute. I want to demolish this line and this line, and you'll see why, because I want to run it... I want to keep them two lines free for north. And those for south. So that the trains aren't all landing at the same station and causing issues. And it might be that we actually have to move these two tracks here, because I'm thinking of moving a new line from St. Louis to Nashville to Memphis, and that would then also do, if we do them in bunches of threes, so we've got Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville, Chicago, Rock Island, St. Louis, and then we do St. Louis, Memphis and Nashville. That will get the population up. We just then need to figure out how to get to Knoxville without costing the earth. But the more trains we get running, guys, the better it is for us.
The city has reached the appropriate size.
So if we run these in, because it's goods, on... these two lines here. Guess it's a little bit more expensive. We'll just make sure that these are right as well. Chicago, yes they are. Okay. So the only thing that's happened there is we've just changed the lines that come in. So we're gonna head to Nashville now. Let's get a station in Nashville, and I think Nashville we can use to bridge the gap to Knoxville. So what we'll probably do is have the first two lines that come from Louisville to head down to Nashville. Change these two lines to fit up there somewhere, so that Nashville then can circle round and go to Knoxville. I don't think we can afford to run it otherwise, so let's get goods can run it on a different line. The expensive line, isn't it? 70. Just make sure it always runs on that line. Make sure that always runs on that line. Cool. What they put there, addresses, I thought it might. Indianapolis can grow. St. Louis can grow as well. Let's just hypothetically look at how much cost to run a train.
The next region is waiting for me.
Yeah, quite expensive that, guys. So bonus for a new industry. We could put a new industry there. What would be good there? Got to look at what's around. Cheese, not really. That'd be better in Indianapolis.
And another city connected.
Not really a lot that would be perfect there. Louisville to Nashville. As soon as we can afford a train. It's so slow. Ooh, we can take out another bomb. Let's get another bomb, guys. Let's put there cheese. And then what we'll do is run a single line that goes from there down. It only leaves with 8 wagons. Brilliant. Is there a supply tower on this side of the line? No, there is now. I don't know what to put here, guys. I don't know what would be good here. We've got beer, we've got meat, but we haven't got a lot of much else that would really warrant a good sort of decision. Furniture, we'd need pallets coming from Chicago.
Not that I don't enjoy myself, but you should increase the reliability of your trains.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. So Memphis has got that. Nashville's got beer and meat. So that's the ideal sort of place to be growing these 3 cities too. And Memphis is going to be kind of like the end of the line.
Build whatever you want in that town. The poor people.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? So, the first 2 lines for Nashville will be, the next 2 lines will be goods. So we'll run that line. That line will be for running to Memphis. Same 2 lines there.
catch up, do you? If you really want to beat me, you're going to have to step up your game.
Okay, I presume that's the citizens connected to the railway network done. It is literally now heading out to Knoxville. That's going to be the main issue. I reckon Louisville, if you look at it, we've got wood there. Could be a potential for more wood, if absolutely necessary, and then that would obviously go down to Nashville too. What's running out of supplies? Let's get this line here. Chicago's still growing. Lovely. Now let's edit this train. So it goes from St. Louis to Nashville. It goes back to Nashville to Memphis. St. Louis. Oh, hold on. It needs to go back to Nashville, doesn't it? St. Louis, Nashville, Memphis, Nashville. Trains. Let's get 3. There we go. And then that brings extra little bits into the town if absolutely necessary. We're going to run one line from there to there. One train, run it from there via that one line to Memphis. Supply tower, and of course let's put a maintenance station there. End of the line. So it might be that we have to run Louisville to Nashville to Knoxville. I don't know if that's going to give us the express line. I think that's just going to be too far on paper for the trains to run to be classed as express.
Oh, this new locomotive looks adventurous.
Cheese. So the cheese can get spread. Place locomotive. Oh god, I don't fancy spending that much to replace them trains, if I'm honest guys. It's a lot of money. Especially when I'm not actually running express trains. Going to want it as short as kind of possible, isn't it? Let's just pause this and demolish want to connect these up. Via that. And then what we'll do is we want the same. Oh, actually, no, we can run that like that. That's fine. Like that, yeah, that's fine. And then the next job will be to try and get connected to Knoxville. But we'll also connect Louisville to Nashville too. But we need to see how much this is going to cost us, because this is not going to be cheap. We need to look at what we've got. Knoxville would be a fantastic place for steel. So we keep first two lines clear. And just try and get a gist of how much this is actually going to cost us. It's 1 million just to get that train running through there. So we're going to have to see what we can do, guys. We've got time. It's not going to be cheap. We kind of knew that anyway. We do want to run it as two lines, possibly just to about there. Was thinking about the future. Of course, getting then a warehouse in Carter. Warehouse there would be absolutely fine at some point, because we'll put milk, we'll put sugar, and all those fine things into Nashville to get that growing as well, and help Louisville grow too. I don't think it's worth putting the industry there for that. It's not going to make anything for the time being, let's face it. We don't need a beer. Let's do it, let's do it.
Not that I don't enjoy myself, but you should increase the reliability of your trains.
Oh, wow. Do we need more trains running? Let's get them running to 4 trains apiece, because these towns are really rocketing up in speed. We just need to get this connection to Knoxville, and it's not cheap. But as we know, the more trains that are currently landing constantly, the better it is for us. We've got a good supply. We've got milk. We've got cheese there. We've got pallets up there, dresses there, and we've got liquor there. So we're doing really strong. Even Grand Rapids is growing rapidly as well, and we can then head towards London, Toronto, Ottawa, and then, or we do London to Buffalo to Syracuse to Albany to New York. But of course we're also trying to keep on moving to wherever it wants us to move to. We're not far off being able to afford that track. We could, in theory, set the one line up, run the train, complete that task, move forward. It's a hell of an expensive rail line, I get that, but we could also go the other way and go, well, we don't necessarily need that anymore, and just delete the rail line. There is also that situation. Okay, so I think we get that new rail line that goes from Indianapolis to Knoxville. Boom. Right, we get that running, we get that achievement, and then we see what is needed around Knoxville, because Knoxville could be one of them that we go, oh, we'll just delete that line, get our million back, and have done. Train's absolutely flying. And if Knoxville needs to carry on growing, if that's part of the tasks, then we are all good, we are connected, and we can make that happen. They got there pretty quickly. Now we're not going to know if it's an express line until it gets back the other way, but I'm sure it won't be a problem. keep an eye on it for a moment. I'm not interested in buying on bids, to be fair.
Another task
Okay, so
completed,
that task
and
is
the
now
stage is
completed.
finished. Let's move
Beautiful.
on to the next round.
Well, you have completed another task. But is your business as good as mine?
So let's look at what our next task is. So it's make 8 different goods available in Atlanta at the same time, produce 20 loads of clothing in Atlanta, and connect 450,000 citizens to your rail network. That's done. Where's Atlanta? There. So I think we're going to have to continue with our current progress, moving down towards Knoxville. But what we will do is just, we don't need that rail line. That's not a rail line that's needed. So what we'll do is we'll do Louisville to Knoxville to Atlanta. That'll be our next 3 cities connected. So we've got meat. Beer. Okay. So, first things first. I think we get Nashville connected. Kind of as cheap as possible. Up to Louisville. And just get a couple of trains running through there. Nothing major, just 2. Just a couple of trains will help Nashville grow. Yep, happy with that. We can always get sugar. Run 2 lines, that's what we did. So we could run 2, or at least a extra line that runs down that way. New rail line from Brown's Rest to Nashville, and it sits at Brown's Rest at track number 3. And then we'll just find that one and have that sitting at track. Oh no, we want that sitting at track number 1. Sitting at track number 2. Right, let's get that moving, and then okay, cool. So we can move through to Knoxville and now Atlanta. Yes, we're going to get a bonus for connecting that station. let us do that. Brilliant. Through there. To there. Brilliant. And then we'll also make this 3 tracks. We want that, so we're just going to make sure that that sits at stop track number 1. See how that runs. And then let's get look at getting Knoxville growing. Tower. There, cool. So we want Knoxville to grow, but we also want Atlanta to grow as well. So we need to put a train station through this fruit and veg section, so that we have access to that when we need it. Atlanta. Let's see what we've got going on in Atlanta. I think we're going to be heading to Augusta, so we're going to point it that way a little bit. So let's run. Ooh, we've got a couple of good lines, so let's keep 2 good lines, and let's just keep 1 good line for that. Tunnels, same 2 lines. Same 2 lines as before. Okay, so let's see what trains we've actually got running to Knoxville. Nothing. So, new rail line, Louisville to Knoxville to Atlanta. Couple of trains, let's go. Let's just make sure our tracks are running properly, as it says they're not. Seems good to me. We are all running. In fact, let's just check. Ah, that's why. It's running on that line, that's why. we'll let it do its business up to the station there. Okay, so we've now got them 3 connected, which means we're going to start growing nicely there. Let's get here, maintenance depot, the warehouse. In this warehouse we'll keep wood at least for now, and we can get corn there as well, because why not? Let's put don't think we're going to have the luxury of making a 4. Oh, we can, look at that, beautiful, just about. Okay, and we'll want that to run in at the Stark Station on line number 4, minimum of 8. Okay, so Knoxville's going to start growing now, because we'll have wood, we'll have, we'll pretty much have everything running to it that we need. And we've also got corn down there as well. Supply tower. Let's get a supply tower on this line. Okay, so we should be pretty good. We should start seeing some growth this side of the map. So Atlanta, we're going to need corn, wood, meat, and we need beer as well. So we're going to have to probably connect up to Augusta to get beer coming through.
A train station in this city?
Augusta, let's have a look at what we've got. It's mainly south of that, so we'll just keep one line 3. That same line as we're running there. I mean, potentially we don't need to connect it all up to Louisville, but what we'll do is we will run 4 trains on this one, and we'll run it all the way down to Augusta. Gives us that opportunity then to get more goods on the line. Brilliant. So let's get that train edited. Louisville, Knoxville, Atlanta, Augusta. Then back to Atlanta. Let's get 4 on the go. That's running the wrong way, so I'm just going to delete that train and get a new train. I know it was full of goods, but it's going to have to do a full sequence before it's even going to get there, which is really, really annoying. So Atlanta's now growing, which is good. It gives us that opportunity to get a dressmakers there. So let's keep this running. So guys, we're just going to let it run now for just a little bit. Make some money, because at this current time I don't think there's a lot else we can do. It's just a matter of saving some money. Right, actually I completely forgot we have other tasks to complete. We really need to be heading over to New York as well. So while we allow Atlanta to grow, which it is, it's growing nicely, we are going to head out towards New York. So we'll purchase that. Oh god, that's a massive chunk. London. London, we will leave 2 lines free at the top. So we're going to get connected via this train station here. As soon as we get some more money. I can't believe that, we just had $1 million. And now we're struggling for money. But in theory, we can go and take another bond. It's not going to be an issue. That bond's going to help us really push over towards New York. So let's do that. And if you've seen, I've left a line here so that we can run sugar to London as well. So make sure that we run in on the same lines, guys, all the way down to Grand Rapids there. So that line's now all in place. That line's in place. And what we're going to do is the train that's running between Chicago and Grand Rapids, we're going to edit that, so we've got Chicago East, Grand Rapids, London, London back to Grand Rapids. We're going to then increase that up to 4 trains. We're just going to keep checking on Atlanta because we are going to be heading towards Jacksonville. That's where I thought it was going to be Jackson, but it's not. It's Jacksonville. So I think that's our next goal in the scenario. But I do want to try and progress and get further along. So it's just got beer. So we can use Toronto to help grow London as well. Buffalo's got beer. We don't really need wheat, so yeah, I think we're okay if we run a train. Let's leave 2 lines at the top there for any goods. What we'll use them first 2 lines. That's not a major issue because we're not going to be running too much between those 2 cities. I don't think. I think it's just going to be a let's supply meat job. We're gonna get rid of that. I'm not faffing around, bloody. tunnels again. It doesn't want to work. Because we're probably only going to be running maybe 1 or 2 trains on this line, it doesn't really matter for goods too much. We can share the goods line. Atlanta's still growing, good. Knoxville's growing. Chicago's still growing. So we're going to run them 3 cities together, and then we'll go from London to Buffalo, Syracuse, and probably Albany might have to be separate. Let's buy that while it's still as cheap as it is. I know it sounds crazy, but that is going to be probably one of the cheapest times we can buy that at that price. So, although we don't necessarily need salt, we might need it going down to Chicago. So we're going to do... So we've got meat, beer, and cloth in them 3, and then we're going to do cloth. We're going to run it to the end of the line there. That's got beer. Cool. Let's see how we're progressing. 6 out of 8 goods are now available in Atlanta. So what have we got in Atlanta? We've got no corn. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sugar. Sugar we need. Sugar. So there's sugar there. That's okay. And salt's over there as well. Nice. So let's just run through the line. Kept a line free as well. Lovely. We don't necessarily need 2 trains running on it at the minute. So maintenance depot, the warehouse, let's just put sugar in it for now. So that then shares sugar between those. And we've got corn there as well if absolutely necessary to run in. Now, in fact, let's do that. Let's get another corn running in. Because we can. And we'll run that in on that very first line there. And put corn in the warehouse too. Cool. And then our next task is Buffalo.
Do you really have to disfigure every city with your stations?
That's going to cost us a little bit for a bridge. Buffalo. Beautiful. So we'll now make a new line that goes from London, Buffalo to Syracuse. But beer. Oh, that's an issue. Beer. We might have to put one that goes from Toronto to Buffalo as well, just to help bring meat over towards Buffalo. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, just fine like that. Make sure we're running the right lines. So, just 2 between Toronto and Buffalo. Like, we don't want to overwhelm the lines.
How nice. You have completed a task, but I'm not defeated yet.
Okay, so 8 different goods are now available. I hope. Atlanta's not put its own. Yeah, it hasn't. We need Atlanta to grow enough to be able to put our own goods there. London, Buffalo, they're not going to share too much. We're just going to put one train on it for now. Need to run a train in on there so that we can now get the goods moving. So London, it's not major that we run over towards New York at all. It's just that's kind of where the game wants us to progress, and we might as well spend the money that we're earning heading that way. We've got time. January 27th. We've got until December next year to produce the clothes, but as soon as we can, we will purchase the clothing industry. Everything's growing. And it's growing without even sort of like trying. They're just getting really, really well supplied with everything. Nashville, we can. Doesn't really matter. Let's get milk in the warehouse there. That would kind of be, again, another ideal place to put cheese. Buffalo's growing, London's growing. I presume Toronto's going to start growing as well. And we can head to Syracuse soon. There's no saying we can't put milk in that warehouse. What's this train doing? Atlanta's growing really strong, that's good. We want to just make sure we're keeping enough money to do, or to purchase the that's not going to work for Syracuse, is it? That's not going to work at all. That's just a painful. Painful little track. Painful because it doesn't point that way, should I say. $26,000. To be able to get to our next target. So we're just going to, I'd say we're just going to just wait. But I know I won't be able to help myself and carry on.
There's something about your new locomotive, I must admit.
Carry on growing, to be fair.
Such a breakdown is really typical for you. You just don't have your trains under control.
Syracuse to Albany. There's beer as well. Wow. New York's got cloth. So beer, cloth, great. We'd have to get Philadelphia involved as well to get meat. Not great at all. So we've now got Syracuse available to get as a bonus. Let's just check again. So we need to get this. We need to get this moving pretty quickly. So as soon as Atlanta hits 30, we've got the 30k. Let's get an immigration office in and get that growing much quicker. And then we're going to be heading down towards Jacksonville here for the final area. And I think, guys, what we really need to be looking at is running potentially, guys, an express line to Jacksonville. And I only know that because I have failed this scenario. And luckily, because I've been making regular saves, I've been able to reload it. So just know that that actually does happen, and it happens rather quickly, that you will fail it. So we need to decide here where to make the express line while we're waiting for it to load up. So do we run it through Augusta and finish at Atlanta? And we could run it down a separate line. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to run it in on that line. Make that a double line so that it's not... It can just wait to come in because... Right, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let's make this a double line here. So yeah, just make sure, guys, you know, make sure you are regularly saving, which allows you to then reload back to a previous point in the scenario. I was just lucky that I'd saved it kind of here, which gave me the break I needed. Now we're going to double line this as well. If it will let me do it. Actually, do you know what we could do? Oh, we can't do it. Do you know what? Let's demolish that. And we're going to double line it like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this as the express line here. So we'll double line that to there. Because if she finishes first, you finish last. So we're going to double line that there, and we'll run that directly down to Jacksonville. And what we'll do here is put a third line in, so that this train that's sitting there nicely on the tracks isn't affecting us. So let's set that to sit on line number 3. So as soon as it's left, it will come back and it'll join at line number 3, and then we're going to head down towards Jacksonville, like that, and we can run that as our express line, so it's directly through with no problems. And then as soon as we can, we will get moving. Now let's just check Atlanta up to 33. So as soon as we get that opportunity, guys, we are going to be doing that. Getting the I can't even think now. Getting Jackson connected. We need to basically get the where am I going here? First 2 lines. We need to get the clothes factory up and running as quick as possible. Okay, so we're going to get Syracuse connected. We're going to get Albany connected, but we're going to run through this station here. And what we'll do is we'll run first 2 lines to the first 2 lines there. We don't need to run a we don't need to put a gridiron through there, but we'll then run into Albany. And in Albany we're going to run the second 2 lines with this track, because we'll keep the top 2 available for goods coming in. This way we can now progress down to New York in a moment. Let's just check Atlanta. 34,000. Knoxville's growing nicely. So let's get this train station here connected up with this station here. And the reason I want to do that is so that we can get milk running into Atlanta now to help that grow even further. So let's get a supply tower on that run. Let's just make sure we put a supply tower on this run. So a new rail line that goes from there to there. Minimum of 8. And a train. Let's go. And in the Atlanta warehouse then we'll put milk.
The next region awaits.
Oof, 1.5 million. It really needs to be upgraded though to allow more goods. Do you know what? Sod it. We'll buy it. We'll buy it.
Aren't you surprised? Nobody bid on it?
That will do. Let's. We've got the money. It's not really an issue.
A saboteur? Don't act so surprised. You would have done the same.
Come on, let's get moving.
Another breakdown? Not everyone can keep things under control like I do.
Right, let's get moving to New York.
You're beyond help.
And we'll run these on the same lines here, guys. At this point, I'm not too worried about money now. And we're going to then get a city running, a train running between those four now. So let's get a new rail line. Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, New York. Let's get a couple of trains running, and boom, that should start getting them growing and stuff as well. New rail line there. So a new train that runs just directly on that single track. So let's get maintenance depot, warehouse with wheat in it at least. We haven't put a second line through there. Oh wow. What have we done? What have I done? No, don't go the wrong way. Bloody hell. We're going to buy that, and let's get that upgraded so it produces more.
Aren't you surprised? Nobody bid on it?
And on this one we'll run just the 2 lines. We need to just keep checking Atlanta, because as soon as that grows, let's get that weaving mill put in. Closed factory, sorry. December 1883. Right, so we've got the 40,000. Let's get a dressmakers there. Boom. Let's get that producing straight away. So we should see that pretty much straight away starting to make close. And sod it, let's level it up as well so it makes close even quicker. Right, new rail line. Hold on, we haven't finished those tracks. So we'll do one that takes wood and one that takes, so just cloth or fabric, whatever it is.
That's what I call a real breakdown. You should exercise more.
And then at New York, let's put maintenance, and let's put a warehouse. And the warehouse will have wood for now. We've made 3 out of the 20 required. We could just run a cheeky train that goes between just to help growth. Just one. Or two. Let's run 2 trains. Right, so New York's now growing. We could do with getting Philadelphia in as well, because that's got meat. So let's purchase that. And run that into New York. Not a cheap line, but like I've said previously, now we've got the money. There's no point just like sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it. We might as well use it. And what we'll do is we'll put meat into this warehouse, so we can send meat elsewhere then. Run 1 train in to that. Get a couple of supply towers in. So our trains are fully supplied. Something I always kind of forget to do. Okay. We're up to 8 out of 20, so we're doing okay there. Atlanta's growing rapidly. Let's head into Augusta. Let's get that running to 6 trains, and what that's going to do is help just grow everything really. See how many trains we've got running on this one now. Let's increase that to 6. Six trains through there now as well. Let's get apples into Grand Rapids. We're just doing things here just to keep things moving while we are waiting now for that task to be complete, guys. Just helping grow the rest of the cities. Put apples in the warehouse here. Okay. Everything's growing nicely. We're up to 13 out of 20 in the dresses. Knoxville's grown. What can we put at Knoxville that's going to benefit us? What's actually around here? Furniture. Yeah, let's put furniture there. Just occurred to me that we've not put cows going to Knoxville. So London's growing now as well. So the ideal thing at London, of course, would be dresses. Everything's growing nicely around New York. Up to 14 out of 20 on the dresses. We need that to be upped, really. Well, we're making enough dresses. We just can't get rid of them. So let's get a new rail line that goes from Atlanta to Louisville, and let's just send it up with dresses. A minimum of 8. And just see if that.
That's what I call a real breakdown. You should exercise.
Because then that will allow the dresses to just get rid, and we can generate more then. Because the demand will be there. 15. Can even put like dresses into the warehouse here if absolutely necessary, and then that will just shift even more. Not cloth, dresses. And we could put dresses in our Nashville warehouse as well, and then that again will just help distribute the dresses a bit more. To 17. So we're almost fulfilled with that task. At this point, not so worried about New York in this area. We really need to focus now on getting Jacksonville involved. And we will do any second. There we go.
The final region is now unlocked for you. You are almost at the finish line and are ahead of your competitors.
Good. So let's get Jacksonville involved now. So what we'll do here is we'll run the first 2 lines out to Augusta, but the second 2 lines here will join up with this. And as you'll see, our task will be to get X amount of people moving between Atlanta just make sure that's gridironed to that end. Yeah, right, fine. So a new rail line that goes just to show you, transport 750 people from Jacksonville to Atlanta. So we're going to get Jacksonville to Atlanta. It's going to be we're going to get 3 trains express. dining car, mail car, go. So that gets that straight on the go. We can now get our next lines running. So we're going to join the same 2 lines here to Augusta. And that will be our goods line, and that goods line is then going to just come off the back of what we've already got, because we've got 6. So let's edit that. So we're going to be going Louisville, Knoxville, Atlanta, Augusta, Jacksonville, back to Augusta, back to Atlanta, confirm. So now that will bring goods down to Jacksonville. At Jacksonville we're going to run a maintenance depot and a warehouse, and we're going to start getting goods straight in. So we're going to run a double line here, guys, and we're going to come in at the bottom, and we're going to run in these 2 lines here. Not worried about the cost. We've got 6 million. And then we're going to run 2 separate trains again. One with just wheat, and another one that's just wood. Okay, and then we're going to put in our warehouse wheat and wood. And we've already got 80 passengers moving, so that is good. That's what we need to see. And people are moving, so that's good. So the quicker we get Jacksonville growing, the better it is for us. And we've got beer and we've got wood, and we're going to see meat and stuff coming straight down. So Augusta, is that going to run to Jacksonville? So it's taking corn to Jacksonville. So just make sure you make another quick save, guys.
Turned their threat into reality, but was caught in time by your security personnel.
And it's just now the waiting game. Let's see what that is. Missing supplies. Oh, let's get a supply tower there. Supply tower there, that'll be fine. And while we're waiting now for these people to be moved, which they are doing pretty quickly, we will focus now on getting New York grown. New York's got 32, so let's get an immigration office there. Albany's growing, Syracuse is growing, Buffalo's growing, everything's growing, so it's really, really good. In fact, we're not going to be far off getting milk, so we can run milk into Albany. Put a supply tower on that as well, guys. And let's just do one rail line, just one track. 8 wagons. It's not going to need the goods at the minute, but what we'll do is we'll put milk into the warehouse. So that will start taking milk as soon as one of the cities like New York needs it. Up to 312, guys, so this express route is working. This is what we need. 312. And we need to be hitting this very, very quickly before she does. $332. Jacksonville's growing now as well, so of course the quicker Jacksonville grows, the better it is for us. It means more people in the city, which means more people are going to be moving. And don't forget, we've still got the other train as well that's going to run and take people as well, as you can see. That one's going out full. That one's going out full as well. So good. We are 344 now. Atlanta's growing, Knoxville's growing, Nashville's growing. Chicago's shrunk a little bit. It's got no wheat, no corn, no wood, no meat. Okay. Well, it's not really massively important. What could we put there? Whiskey's already there. Wooden pallets, I presume that would be a good one. Double up this line. And allow a second train to run. And potentially even just double up this line as well and let a second train run in with wood to Chicago. Okay. See if we can get Chicago regrowing. Not that it's massively important. Unless, of course, it wants us to hit 100,000 people there. 430 now. Jacksonville has grown. So that's good. Not too worried about the optional tasks here, guys. Really, really not worried about that. New York's almost at the point of growing. Oh, Augusta's growing. What can we put? What can we put in Augusta? That would help everything else grow. Dresses we've got up there. Pallets we've got. Alright, let's put wood sawmills here as well, because I think that would work. Jacksonville's growing rapidly, so that's good. And we're up to 525, so we nearly completed that task there, guys. And look, we've got sugar here as well. Let's get sugar coming in too. We'll take that in on the same line that we've already got here. So So that will allow sugar to come in to Jacksonville and help that grow even more. The more people, the faster we're growing. Supply tower, one on that route, one on that route. Seems something else hasn't got a supply tower. It's got one on that route. There we go. 596. Let's get sugar into our warehouse here. Oh, we're so close. We are so close to getting that task completed. New York's growing doubly quick. Oh, we're there, almost there, so let's get ready for a new business. And again, I think a sawmill would be fine here because it's got the direct connection for wood. And Albany, we could put like a dressmaker's there. Okay, 680, so we just need 70 more people being pushed out. That could be nearly it. We could run. Hold on, let's have a look from line number 4 there. Oh, we can just about get that, guys. New rail line from there to Jacksonville. And it's going to sit on line at number 4. Tell you what we are going to do, guys. We're going to replace all locomotives to that one. 680. Okay, so that is the scenario completed, guys. And that gives us our first scenario done. So you've completed all the required tasks for this scenario. Let's see what our final score is.
So, you won. I worked hard, but I have to admit, you were better. As agreed, I'm transferring all the shares of my company to you.
Okay, and we've done that one in Chief Executive as well, so that is brilliant. So, that is the first scenario completed, guys. Make sure you check in with me for the second scenario by clicking on the link that will be on the screen once it's uploaded. Right, thank you very much. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.